What's up, YouTube? It's Reggie, and let's invite the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit, I just ask that you allow me to be disciplined, allow me to wait for the perfect setup, and take it, be confident, and hold it. I pray that you allow myself and the viewer to grow in our understanding of your word, but also in our faith. Lord, I pray that you just allow us to keep growing, keep seeking after you, and keep learning and growing. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. It's like, y'all, I ain't gonna lie, the way this has been testing and then shooting and like it's weird. And the 4 hour showing is made a high. We had this type of push right here, but it was kind of lower volume, right? But what it did was come here and then came here, and now it's building there. What you could see is this pull down here and then bounce. We're just gonna do this actually. Boom. Came here, came down here. In a 1 hour, price came all the way up here. Here. Now it's starting to consolidate between here, pull down here, and now it's here. So right now it's just a mess. But still 49 minutes in the candle. So, but like I said, we're not just trying to jump in short term. We're trying to see long term. So we had an indication to this side, right? What I realized is it's just wicking. So we're not even caring about that. We had an indication to the upside. So we're gonna see if it builds back up. But yeah, before I jump in the sell because it's been faking out, I want to see it close down here. Oh, well, we the same thing for up here actually. Is you want to see it close above your line. I need to see it close above here, and then I can jump in here. And I realized something for me is just getting wicked out, like as far as getting caught in the wicks. So you see how it broke under here, right? My indication went off. That is, oh, like my indicator went off. And, oh, it's an indication. But then when I actually went to look at what it was doing, it was just wicking down here. So it's just acknowledging. Okay, boom. You see, there was a higher low in the 4 hour that was right here. I got shot down. So yeah, that wasn't respected. So it shows like the higher low was here. So this shows me it could be making a low. And in that case, this would be the higher lower high. That has to be respected. Yeah, excuse me. If it closes under this, we can look for a sell at this level. But that's what we're looking for. Not looking to take a sell before that. To glorify the name of all names, and nothing can stand against. I choose the prayer. 4 hour showing bearish, 1 hour showing bearish. So if it closes under this, this should be a good entry. but we needed to see it close under here. Notice it's starting to wick back up again. It doesn't count as an indication until we see it close there, and even then we're not. I just had to correct myself. And once we have a close under here, we have an indication. We're still not trading that though. It goes indication, then correction, as we see here. It indicated, and then it corrected, and then it tried to break through again, couldn't do it. So that's where I'll be saying, like, if we see an indication, we see the correction, and then we see what's supposed to be the continuation, but it doesn't break through that line again, we can know, boom. So this is a fake out in my opinion, because this is the first time we actually have a close under. So I expect this next one to correct. And that's why I realized, like, bro, it's just literally not just jumping in trades just because you want to make money. It's like, we gotta see it. Because I 100% expect it to correct. But still, look, on a 1 hour, it tested all the way up here and closed. So we could be seeing, okay, boom. But notice, it's still wicking. So it's like, we gotta realize what's about to close too. The 4 hours about to close. So as far as looking here, we see this is either going to be a lower high or it's going to build all the way back up. But we don't know yet. So just watching. I'm watching the 15 because I'm not trading indication no more. We're done doing that. That's not it, you know. Nothing can stand against. I choose the praise to glorify the name of our name. The only way we will take a sell is if it breaks down here. Because if it's indicating, it shouldn't break down here. We're going to put our stop loss there. As if it ends up closing out here, that means it's probably selling off it. But why I'm hesitant to believe that it's actually going to push down is because this indication happened on Wednesday. Today is Thursday. So we can't really use that one for that day. That's where we gotta be patient. But let's get into the Word of God. It says we're in 1 Samuel chapter 31. It says, now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled before the Philistines and fell down slain in Mount Gilboa. And the Philistines followed hard upon Saul and upon his sons. And the Philistines slew Jonathan and Abinadab and Malchishua, Saul's sons. So now his sons got killed. Unfortunate. And then it says, and the battle went sore against Saul, and the archers hit him, and he was sore wounded of the archers. And then it says, then said Saul unto his armor bearer, draw thy sword. Ooh, yeah, so. Let's see. Are all the higher time frames? Okay, so. Next time it breaks above this line, I'm looking to see, so. I expected to pull back some, though. Oh. Come on. What we doing? What we doing? So, what I'm looking at now, I'm thinking the correction. This isn't a correction. This is actually the push now because look, all the time frames are showing me that. So now, instead of trying to jump, I'm looking, okay, boom. Next time it breaks this line again, I'm holding it. Stop loss up here, put my TP. I missed it, no. The reason why I'm not thinking it's just running away yet, because it's 10 minutes left. Dang, this young is bouncing though. Come on, pull back, pull back. I'm just holding that line. Let's move this line. We gotta see. This is if it's going here. Notice it's 9 minutes still, but it just showed you where it wants to go. So I'm hoping it pulls all the way back here, honestly. Now we can get a better entry on the 1 hour. Look, there's a line. Where is it gonna pull? This young goes 200, we're out. What we doing? 130. So when I jump in, I just hold until if it goes down 200, I get out because that means it's reversing. But see, notice how it was 170, 140, and then it started pushing down. That's what we want to see because it's 7 minutes still. Still showing bearish, still showing bearish. But still, like I said, 170, 190. As soon as we see it. As soon as it says 200, we're out. I don't care if it jumps from 200, 200, I'm out. And this is where you gotta be good at cutting your losses and just okay with losing it. Because I realize, like, this junk is so volatile. Like, bro, I realize, okay, so now knowing that, it's like, okay, that shows me this is still indicating it's still not respecting it. Notice how it keeps playing up and down. So I'm like, okay, it just tested down there. This shows me this is probably going correct. So it's like, okay, that's the indication. This is the correction, and we'll see what it does from there. So for me, seeing this turn green now, that shows me, okay, boom, that must be the correction. So it's not getting mad when you lose money. It's just like realizing, okay, where has it shown now? It went all the way down here. Now it's green. This shows me, okay, it's probably correcting. So, like I said, we're going to wait for this candle to close. And it's just being okay, like, bro, cut your losses early because now you still have something you could do. And I realized this was an indication, this was a correction, right? But for me looking at it, it didn't seem like it was that. So it's like, it's kind of hard to really know every time because when the market moves like this, it's kind of weird, you know? But, yeah, bro. it's super iffy. And now it's gonna do the push. Like, bro, I literally hate the market at times. Like, it doesn't. To me, it's like, bro, this is showing all signs that it's building down. And it's like, even you go to the 1 hour, like it's building down. So it should be closing because look, we had this at 515. Everything else is wick, so it tested up here. So it's like I want to take a sell, but we see I just took a sell before and it lost. It's like I don't. This is where sometimes I'll be getting annoyed. I used to trade stocks back and it went well for me. Then second half, I started slowly, so I quit while I was ahead. Well, I'm not quitting. Quitting's not an option for me. So you know what I'm saying? I respect what you did, you know what I'm saying? If that's what you want to do. But for me, I realize it's like I be knowing what I'm doing, but at the same time it's just annoying when sometimes the market just be jumping crazy. But it's also a news week, so with the war and stuff, the market is kind of moving a lot crazier. But like I said, we had the indication. This is the lowest the indication went. So we know this candle is correcting. It keeps testing new lows, but it's ultimately here. We're gonna drag this at the end of this. Yeah, is what I really think it's gonna do now is correct some up there because it needs to make an indication and then a correction before it can continue down. And that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing the correction. So after we see the correction, now we can see. So it's not being mad. Like a lot of people get mad when they lose money. Me, I don't because I'm like, okay, boom. Because I didn't know this was. I thought this was an indication. Like, and it's like for me, breaking my trading rules is knowing this indication is still trading. I didn't know this was an indication, and I thought this was still building. But what I see now, just look at it. Okay, this was the indication. This is the correction. Notice now we have a bottom. So when I see this test all the way down here, I believe now we're going to make a push, and it honestly might be a buy day, because notice we had an indication up here earlier in the session here. So when this opened, this is when this candle. So now we had an indication, we had a correction, and now we tested down here. Now we're building up from there. So it's like little things like that I'll be noting. Like session just opened. So it's like watching this, the 4 hour needed to make, this is from yesterday, this is making a higher low. So it's like sometimes we gotta think long term. Okay, boom. So from looking at this, we have a high and then we have a low. So it's not jumping in on this low anymore. It's waiting for it to boom. Like that's just the market structure. Once it forms this, this is what it's looking to do. So I realized I've been trying to jump in here, but I realized like I might be able to make like 2-3 from here. But ultimately, I want to get in on this big move to the upside because everything showing me is building up now. I'm looking at like even on the 1 hour, we had a big push to the upside. Then we had this move right here made a high, but then it broke structure, and then it got in here, and now it's just boom, 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 boom. So it's just letting the market show us like, okay, am I going to continue down? Because once again, notice how if we ignore like if we just look at volume, it really has done this in volume. It played up towards the end. Okay, boom. Then what happened? It pulled down. So now we can expect it to pull up, you know. So that's what I'm expecting it to do, just looking long term. But it could also like right here, it made a higher low, it could be breaking down. But regardless, for me, I need to see it break under here before I even think like, okay, boom, sells anymore. Because like I said, you gotta learn from your mistakes. I traded this twice, and what happened? I lost both of them because it didn't respect it. So what I need to realize is, okay, this is the first time we break under here, how to close. Now we need to see some type of correction. Unless it's respecting this, which I doubt. I don't think that's how it will work. But so even if this is like a doji, right? It just makes like a little doji. That still is considered a correction, you know. So we'll see. Honestly, it is moving a little weird, but Notice, we can still make a lower high all the way down here because it jumped crazy yesterday. It literally jumped like $400 moves. So notice that's still a higher low. So it's like, this is where you just gotta be patient, kind of wait. Like I said, bro, the market can cook you if you let it. So it's just being patient. If it's going to sell, it has to break this level where it was testing before. And notice it's making a doji, like, because when it's fighting like this tells me, like, they are not truly strong down there. But even a little doji, right? If this just makes a doji, it's still a sign. Okay, boom. Now, what do we see? Okay, it formed a doji. That's a reversal. A doji is a sign of reversal. Now, look, it's pushing up. You remember how I marked my charts and I said it's probably going to push up? It's because now, if we look at the 4 hour, it tested all the way. Notice these wicks for the green. They're super low. So what we got to realize is it might have been building up this higher low, right? To show, hey, I'm making this. But realize we already have a higher low up here with pretty good volume. Like, right? So this could just build up. So when I'm watching 1 hour, I'm like, oh, notice on the 1 hour, now we're building up. So now what I want to do is go on a 1 hour and see, okay, now where I have the indication for sales, now we see that's where it was respecting. Notice how it's pushing all the way back up. So this is what I'm saying. Don't get too caught up in the fact that you might have lost like a trade. Like right now, how much am I down? I'm down 354, right? Not tripping because at the end of the day, I realized in one good play, I can make all that back, like all of it, quick, like a lot. Because realize, okay, now just looking at what the market is showing me, this is it making a higher low. It indicated down here, but now it made a higher low. Now I expect it to push all the way up here. Because even here, what do we see? We see some red in there, but overall, the bull has still been winning. So it's like, okay, boom. But notice, what could we also be seeing? Like, this is the correction. We could see it correct up here and then shoot back down. But regardless, we're not going to jump in until we see a close here. And it's like, notice it was making higher lows. Like on the 15, it was making lower highs, pushing down. Now we're building up. Watch on the 1 hour. Now this candle's building up. So it's like things like that that you got to know. You know what I'm saying? And you can't get, something that God has been teaching me is like, you can't let a loss determine your confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I ain't gonna lie, I'll be having moments where I be annoyed, like, what is the market doing? Here, let me note this. So, swing high, sellers are pushing price down here, bullish, upside. And this is a 1 hour time frame that's showing us this. Swing low, buyers are pushing price up here, bearish downside, 1 hour. So this is why I say, like, do not let a loss determine your confidence, right? Because notice how this, like, right? So what did I say? You remember I said it will count as an indication, right? When it closes, it closed down here, it tested, made a high volume doji. Now it's pushing up. Okay, so now I'm like, oh, like just look at the market like from an objective point of view. Okay, boom. Let me close this. Like just doing market structure. What is the market showing you now? Okay, on the 4 hour, what happened? We had a huge push all the way up here. Now we had this low right here, right? The next thing, even if it forms all the way up here, right, would be to push, right? It would be to push. So like that's what we're expecting. And then what I realized is like here, if anything, this is a good sign that it's bear because this was all like low volume right here, but it's still pushed down, right? Makes a higher low because notice the last low was down here, and now we can boom. And remember, yesterday it made a big push, like $300. So you remember how I'm down like 3 something right now, right? 354, I think I'm down. Bro, when this breaks, it's looking to make a higher high. So that's where I can take it all the way up. Notice the 4 hour is starting to look at the wick. The wick is from here 283 right now to 960. So it tested, it showed I tested all the way down here. I couldn't hold it. Boom, now it's breaking up. So when I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, because what happens? The 1 hour builds on the floor. So we had all this bearish movement, right? And now we're having a huge candle. So what you got to realize is now it's like, okay, boom. Screw this being, because we already had an indication down here. So I'm not looking for it to just touch here and no, it's like the indication, look, indication, correction, all this. So now this is the breakout. It's like this is where I really got to get in here and hold it. Like I'm gonna let the trade play because I don't have nothing to lose letting the trade play. If it goes down 200, get out. But like I'm honestly gonna let the trade play for because I think it should hit my TP, and this is what I realized. I'm looking to make everything I done lost back, and it's like it's okay with boom. So here, let me what do I have marked on? Let's see, 1854. That's what we looking to make. So now that's what I'm looking for. So when it gets to this line, when we get a close here, I'm looking to take it from here all the way up. And mind you, I'm not going to jump in once it gets there. I'm going to wait for it to close above here and jump in here. So that's what I'm looking for. Is not trying to jump in as early as I can to try to maximize how much I make. This is the TP line I have. Notice this is like 5 grand. We ain't trying to get that, yet. But like that's where it's been when it made the higher low. So now we're looking, okay, 1854. So if I'm looking to jump in here, I'm gonna say, we're gonna do as close as we can get. And cool. And we're gonna have our stop loss at this higher low, right? So this is where we're looking to get in. Now, to some, this might be like, why? But you're risking so much, right? Realize I'm getting out if it goes to this, right? But realize, okay, boom. I'm looking for it to keep pushing, right? Up. But you got to realize, too, this is what's about to close. So I want to watch this because ultimately, I know that this is going to determine, since this is about to close, this holds a lot of weight right now. Because this is so much volume, 78K. So it's like, boom, what are we doing with this? And realize, it pushed all the way up here. But this is it could be indication correction. But notice, now we're in to where sellers are. So we can expect for the price to get pushed down some. But notice, this is still one candle. One candle. Like, it's pushing like this. That's where you got to realize, like, oh, this is where the market is showing me. Now, I got to see. Let me see if I have this thing in class today because it's pretty. Notice, when it's getting fought down here, I'm not tripping and be like, dang, bro, it can't be built. Realize, all right, that I noted. This is a swing high. So what's here? Buyers, like sellers. A heavy number of sellers are pushing the price down. But notice, it's not even coming all the way back down here. It's fighting right here in this range. I'm going to push, I'll get shot down. I'm going to push, I'll get shot down. Mind you, 7 minutes still. But what you could see is, oh, maybe the sellers take control and they could shoot all the way down. But in that case, we're going to take a sell because what happened? We had the indication, now we had a correction. So it's really not trying to assume what the market is going to do. It's letting it show you. So either we're going to the upside and we can get in here, or we're going to the downside and we can get in here and ride it down to here. So either way, this is important because this correction or this continuation, either it's a continuation from here or it's a correction from here. Either way, we're going to be able to take a buy or a sell, but it's not jumping in before it breaks one of these. And notice, when it breaks here, we're not jumping into here, so we can see a close above here and then jump in. When it breaks here, we want to see a close and then jump in here. Because notice, at this point, when it breaks, it's either making a higher high or it's making a lower low. Because what has it been doing so far? Consolidate. So that's where you got to realize. So that's what we're waiting for. We're just being patient. We're not forcing the trade. We're not being like, I need to take it. And you're not lusting after the money. If I was lusting after the money, I'd be like, oh, I'm getting it now. No, bro, I don't know what it does in here. But I'm waiting. And realize, forget the former things, bro. Yeah, I lost money earlier today, but that was on me. I realized I traded the indication on accident. It wasn't like I intentionally did that, but notice, okay, I traded the indication. What do I need to do now? I need to wait for the correction to finish and then jump in on a continuation. So it's like things like that you got to know. But just wait, because notice, now it's 5 minutes till. it's starting to shoot down. But I'm still not tripping because what's happening? It's still respecting its lower high. So right now, I'm looking on the 1 hour. It needs to break this for me to even consider, oh, it's going down. It needs to break under this. Until it breaks under this, I'm still thinking bearish. I mean bullish. Let me see if what I have in this class. Is I make sure I'm not presenting. So bear with me, y'all, real quick, because not gonna lie, it's pretty important. Where's your syllabus? I love when teachers like don't mark, like don't actually show like their like syllabus, like where it says syllabus, like what's going on there. I choose to prove. Okay, let's see. Today is the 5th. March 5th. Okay, it is next week. Okay, boom. Okay, that's good. Okay. My bad, y'all. I had to make sure because I ain't gonna lie. You miss like a group project or something because you don't think. But notice, this wick is coming up here. So like I said, even if it closes green, if it wicks all the way up here, it shows, okay, I tested up here. So we could just take a sell. But it's not assuming that's what the market's doing. You need to see. So when I watch the 4 hour, okay, I'm seeing it still boom. But realize, excuse me, this candle closes in 19 minutes. This can still be, for it to show like a higher low, this could still be on the uptrend. It could still respect this. Like, realize, this does not scare me and be like, oh dang, like it's obviously not. It's like, nah, it's still a higher low. So even though on the 1 hour it's still building up, right? Notice it needs the low key, like ideally I want it to stay above this. You know what I'm saying? Because if it stays above this, I know it's bullish. But if it stays like right here, like kind of in the middle, you can be like, oh, the next one. That's where you gotta realize, like, indication, correction, and then a continuation, but it has to break your levels. You can't just assume, oh, it's the correction, I'm gonna jump in, boom. It's like, nah, it's gotta break, you know? But yeah, like, the reason why I will never, like, mellow view, the reason why, for me, I never will stop trading is because I asked the Lord for a sign a while ago, you know? I said, Lord, if this is for me, show me a sign. I was like, let me have a $2,000 day. Mind you, never had a $2,000 day before that. The same day I prayed that prayer, I had a $2,000 day. And it was like confidence for me. Like, okay, Lord, the Lord got this. You know what I'm saying? It's not up to me to try to figure it out. It's up to me to trust the Lord. And it's like, bro, I'm not even tripping about being down. Every day I've traded, like, literally this week, bro, I've been down initially. Like, but it's like yesterday, I went down 1,000 and made 1,600 and went up. But then I kept over trading and went down. But regardless, that was up to me. That wasn't because I didn't know what I was doing. It's because over trading is a real thing. But it's like praying and getting my word that helps me not over trade. You know what I'm saying? And not try to assume I know what the market is doing, bro. So it's like for me, when you ask God for a sign, you gotta trust Him. You know. And like yesterday's video, I was talking about how faith requires movement. The movement for me is I prayed that God help change my life with trading. It's like, now I can't give up. I can't let a loss make me lose fear. Be fearful and doubt God, you know. I can't let losing accounts make me stop. Like, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I've lost under $500, you know, trading. And it's like some people done lost thousands of dollars, you know what I'm saying? And for me, it's like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I don't want to lose like 500, but I realize like in the grand scheme of things, 500 to change my life with this, it's like, bro, this is the best way to practice, bro. It's like I'm not losing like even when I lose 2,000, I didn't lose 2,000 of my money. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not doing it on a live account. I'm doing it on prop. I already got funded before, so it's like I know it's possible, but I gotta keep going, bro. You can't pray to God to help you with your situation and then worry like if it's gonna work out. It's like, no, have faith. Like that's the thing God calls us to do. He doesn't ask us to know how everything's gonna work out. He says have faith. And it's like I think that's so beautiful to just realize like God doesn't call us to understand everything that's gonna work out. He just calls us to have faith. And I realize like having deeper faith is super important. And it's like even now if this corrects and then it opens back down, I'm looking to take a sell down here. So I'm gonna set this up because right now it's still wicked. So it's like, okay. and I would put it like under this at this line, and I would tip TP. But yeah, like bro, if I can encourage you with anything, it's just having faith, bro. Like even though like God has told me to document my journey with trading, because I was like I know, bro, I know it's gotta work, bro. It's not like a doubt in my mind if it's gonna work. It's like I truly believe with my whole heart it's gonna work, bro. And it's like I don't care how many L's I take, like because ultimately, bro, I still have a job. I get to work every day. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm trading to pay my bills. Like I can pay my bills. It's just like trading is building that extra freedom that I always wanted. And it's like, bro, I can't be like, God help me achieve this, and then be afraid to actually go all in, bro. It's like, no, bro. If you pray to God about it, bro, trust that he's gonna bring it to fruition, bro. And that's something like that I've been just encouraging myself with. Is no matter how much I lose, no matter how much I might feel in that moment like it's not working out, it's like God is faithful. So if God called me to do it, it's like that's something I could do, bro. And we should see that with like David. That's why I really have enjoyed reading First Samuel, because it's teaching me how to walk with the Lord. It's teaching me that through the ups and the downs, the God is still for us, even when we don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like in this First Samuel, we see that David was told that he would be king. You know, he was anointed king, right? And in that process of becoming king, he went through many trials. Saul tried to kill him on 2 to 3 occasions. You know what I'm saying? It's like he was chased from city to city by Saul. You know, he was had to hide in the wilderness. You know what I'm saying? Like those aren't things that we want to talk about. But everyone wants to talk about how David became king, how David did this, David did that. But realize like David wasn't just handed the kingdom. He had to go through trials. And I realized like a lot of people don't show like the psychology behind when they're losing. When like bro, I'm gonna document it all, because I realize like if I never give up, I can't lose, bro. If I give up, I lost already, bro. And I realized like David could have had the same mentality, like, oh, if this stuff keeps happening, I'm a quit. Like God, you can't be who you say you are. You know what I'm saying? You can't help me out of this. But David did not waver in his faith, and that motivates me to keep going, because I realize like the same way David didn't quit on God and God came through for him is the same way if I don't quit on God, God's gonna come through for me, because He's done it in every other aspect of my life. So it's like when something that I'm really that is hard, like a lot of people like Mello, like you said you tried it and you were trading stocks, it was going good, and then the second half it started slowly tanking, so you quit. Like while you were ahead, it's like, bro, for me, it's like I don't have no doubt that it's gonna work, bro. It's like it's just having that faith, bro. Like having the faith to just keep going, bro. Like truly, it, I just don't. I don't believe I can lose. Like truly, it's like people be like when I make it, like people gonna be like, oh, how'd you get here? I never gave up. Like that's something I could tell myself is even when it was hard, even when it was tough, I never lost faith. I never lost hope that God would do what He said He was gonna do. You know, like, and that's like something I'm truly like thankful for. Is just through it all, I've trusted that God is who He says He is, and that God's not gonna fail me. You know, and I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's been moments where I wanted to give up, where I wanted to be like, dang, it's cooked. You know what I'm saying? Like, how's it gonna work out? You know. But I realized like when you're going through the tough times, bro, and when you're struggling, like for me, trading is deeper than just myself. Like for me, it's like no, bro. I know that once I master trading, I can help my bros. I can help my family. Like for me, it's like, bro, I'm definitely blessed, but it's like, bro, I know this is something that can literally change the trajectory of my whole everything, like truly everything. So it's like, bro, I'm not worried about if it's gonna work out. I'm trusting that it's gotta work, bro. And I realize like faith looks crazy to everyone until it happens, you know? Think about David, bro. When he's going through all these times and he's just believing that God is who He says He is, bro. People were probably like, dude, like Job. Look at Job. Job was highly favored. You know what I'm saying? And then Satan, what happened? Satan, like God allows him to go through some temptations where Satan was like, oh, he's only faithful to you because of this. And I realized like this is the I feel like it's the same moment with me is like, Reg, are you only faithful to me when everything's looking like ideal. It's like, bro, I would love to have my funding right now, make that, but I realize that's my timeline. God's timeline is different because He rather build your character than build anything. I realize like that resilience to keep going. Because some days I might be funded and I might go through struggle, but I realize even though I'm losing now, I'm losing better. Because instead of taking one big loss and my account's blown, I'm literally, oh, it goes 200, I'm out. I'm telling y'all, as soon as it goes 200, I'm out, and I'm sticking to it. I didn't watch and see, oh, was it 200? Did it push back down? It hit 200, I got out. And sometimes people be like, oh, well, if you held it, it could have went there, but also I could have lost my account. And that discipline to just trust that even if I lose, I can make it back. That mindset is never gonna end. And I realized, like, bro, I done went through so much adversity in my life, bro. I'm never gonna think like it can't work out, bro. I'm never gonna think that, bro, because I done seen it work out too many times, bro. I done seen God show up too many times to start down him now, bro. And it's like people might not understand like why I think that way, but it's like, bro, once you truly are walking with the Lord and seeing Him show up in different aspects of your life, you're never gonna wonder if He's real and if He's for you, bro. It's like I know without a shadow of doubt God is for me because I would have quit a long time ago. I would have quit in track. I would have quit YouTube. I would have quit basketball. Because there was moments where I was putting in the work, I'm grinding my butt off, and I'm not seeing nothing change, bro. But God was there. And what we got to realize is Saul was trying to kill David for so much time. But David would not kill Saul. Because he said, if it's up to the Lord, if it's in God's hands, God will handle it. And we're seeing what happens right here. So I'm going to finish this so you understand. It says, then Saul went unto his armor bearer. Draw thy sword and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised cut him and thrust me through and abuse me. But his arm bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. Therefore Saul took a sword and fell upon it. So now we see Saul dies because he was already wounded, but he didn't want to die to the hand of the enemies. So he ended up finishing himself off. So now we see Saul is dead. And it said, so Saul died, and his 3 sons, his armor bearer, all his men that same day together. And when the men of Israel that were on the other side of the valley, they saw were on the other side Jordan, saw the men of Israel fled, that Saul and his sons were dead. They forsook the city and fled, and the Philistines came and dwelt in them. But it came to pass on the morrow, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, that they found Saul and his 3 sons fallen in Mount Gibeah. And it says this, and it says, and they put his armor in the house of Asheroth, and they fastened his body to the wall of Bethshan. So they're basically like flaunting the fact that he's dead, right? Sick. It's sick. Like, you really shouldn't be doing that. But notice, like, this is why they're doing it. Why are they doing that? Because they were in, like, they hated the Israelite people. Because you gotta remember, David already killed their warrior, and now they're trying to get back. So it's like, bro, we gotta notice, like, what is happening. It's personal to them. It's not no little beef. It's like, no, they literally hated the Israelite people. Like, and it says, and when that happens, as Jabesh Gilead heard which the Philistines had done to Saul, all the violent man went all night and took the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons from the wall of Bethshan and came to Jerusalem and burnt them there. And they took their bones and buried them under a tree of Jabesh and fasted 7 days. So now they're mourning for Saul. And what I think is so insightful, just seeing that God came through, bro. Saul had tried to kill David multiple times. He had chased David, but God had gave David ample opportunity to kill Saul, but he would not. And I realized, like, in this time with trading, bro, it's like I already seen I got funded. I know how it feels to be funded, how it feels to go up 2,000 on a funded account. I know how it feels to blow it. I know how it feels to struggle, bro, to be like, dang, it's an A+ setup and it doesn't work. I know how it feels for all that because I've been through it, bro. But what I realize is, in the struggles, right, there's been so many opportunities I could have gave up on this journey. And I feel just like David right now, where God is like, are you going to trust me, bro? Are you going to trust me? And it's like, bro, I be talking to God so much, bro. And it's like reading this word, like, he put this on my heart. Like, I didn't just think one day, like, dang, I should trade on stream. Like, bro, it's so much easier to trade on stream because I could take my losses and just be cooling. You know what I'm saying? No one's watching it. You know, I could struggle on my own and just read my word and just talk to God about it and be okay. Like, bro, my ideal trading world is just listening to worship music, talking to God, and trading. But I realized, like, God called me out my comfort zone. He said, Red, show your journey. Because when I'm elevating you, I want you to be able to help people. And I realized, like, bro, with trading, doing this trading streams, like, bro, I've been able to tell people what I'm looking for. how, like, show y'all the authentic journey, bro. Because it's not like, to me, it's not. This is like the beginning. And something I wrote in my notes, right? It's from Ecclesiastes. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and but the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. It's like, what I realize is like the patient in spirit is patient waiting on the Lord, and it's like, realize that God is so patient with us. I realize God doesn't ask us for perfection. God doesn't ask us to never waver in our faith. He just says, trust me. And that's like something that I really learned to do. It's like, before this candle even went green, what did I do? I marked, okay, boom. It's doing all this, but I realized like it's still trying to go up. And I realized now that the 4 hour is showing green, this shows me it's about to shoot, bro. I haven't even looked at the 1 hour. But now look, it's holding above here. So when I know, okay, we already seen the indication. Now we see even a 4 hour showing it. So it's like, bro, look, it's building up. So when it breaks this line, like breaks this and jumps in here, I know it's going to smack, bro. But it's been patience, bro. I haven't been trying to like, oh, I'm going to force it. It's like, no, bro, I'm waiting for it to break above here. It's going to close above here. You know what I'm saying? And then when it breaks here, I'm jumping in because I already see it close above here. And it's shown me all the signs. Yo, what's up, man? What's up, Joker? How you doing? And it's like, bro, truly, I feel like my walk with the Lord has been full of ups and downs, you know. But something that I realize is like God has blessed me with the opportunity to trade. Like, it's a blessing, bro. Because I know, like, even in losing, bro, realize it's a blessing to lose and still have an account, bro. I could have, like, if I held any of these trades, notice where these wicks are. If I held any of the trades today, I would have lost my account, but I'm still down. And I'll be real with y'all. I have 500 I can lose on this account, but I truly believe that if I'm patient, if I trust in the Lord, and I take smart trades like I'm doing right now, I'm going to make all that back and more, bro. And I realize, like, that's why I gotta walk by faith, not by sight, bro. Because what you see is not always what is the reality. Your reality is whatever you believe it is, bro. And I realize, regardless of how, if I lose this account, I have money that I can get another account. I have money where it doesn't affect me. I can still get grocery. I can still get everything I need. But Satan wants you to focus on the losses. He wants you to focus on every L you take and view it as a loss. Because if you view it as a loss, what happens? Your moral goes down. Your faith goes down. Your lack of trust goes, like, your lack of trust in God goes down. All these things. But if you view it as a lesson, day, okay, God, earlier I traded the indication, didn't realize it, but it was an indication. Cool. Let me learn from that. What does that mean now? Now I do not trade indication. I will wait for the setup. Boom, like, realize that just because you break a trading plan in like a rule in a moment doesn't mean you have to keep doing it, bro. So what did I do? Have you seen me take a trade since? No, but I'm waiting on this trade. Notice all this volume is going to the upside now. This was 50K volume going green. Exactly, man. I used to work labor for $100 a month, and now I'm a profitable trader. Grateful to God, like, and I believe that, bro. Like, and I'm so happy for you. How you doing, man? Like, I truly believe that, Joker, and I realize, like, bro, that's what God calls us to do. He calls us to be faithful. He calls us to trust, bro. And it's not a little bit of trust. It's a lot of trust. Like, you got to trust that God is who he says he is, bro. And I realize, for me, I can pay my rent right now with the job I have. But I realize this is God trying to elevate my life. But if I give up, I lose, bro. And I realize, like, I refuse to give up. Because if I give up, that means I quit. But if I don't quit, I can't lose, bro. I can't. And it's like, even now, what happened? My alert went off. Now, like, I've been watching it this whole time. But it's like, when it breaks, holds above here, it's like, okay, boom, I'm in there. He's noticed this isn't a random time frame it's doing. It's literally the 4 hour. So it's like, it breaks this, I'm in there, bro. And I'm going to hold it because it should not show me any signs of pulling out. Notice I'm up now. Okay, boom. And what I'm doing is I'm going to keep this up until it closes, right? But look, already 120 in profit. Why not trail at profit? Okay, boom. I'm going to probably go right here. Boom, up 200. Remember, I was down money before I was down. Here, actually, I know it's going to be bouncing. So, smack. Already made, let's see. I just made 200 back. But now it's looking, okay, it's still bearish above this level. So now I'm looking, okay, boom. The next level I'm looking to jump in is here. Because it's not trying to jump in at a crazy level that you don't really know. It's like, why not jump in where the market's showing me? I know if it breaks above here, it's going to higher highs. So it's looking. What was my level? So now I'm up 262, so 17. let's just say there. So now it's landing this smack here. Okay, boom. Why is it jumping out? Because it's about to close, like 50. Boom. But look, 1 hour's up. 15's up. So it's like, bro, why would I trip? Like, true, trading always works. Those who fail just quit before it sparks. 100%. Like, and I realize like that's something God is calling me to examine my heart. Like, do I truly trust Him? Because if I truly trust God is who He says He is, it's like He already told me I shouldn't stop. So why would I stop, bro? And I realized like already I was just down 400. I just sniped for 200. And it's like you could be mad because you'd be like, oh, it was still going up. But now look, I'm waiting for it to break here because when it breaks here, I know it's going up. But it's like, this is where you got to be patient, bro. I realize that patience is a fruit of the spirit. It's like if your trade setup's not there later on, you know what I'm saying? If you can't, like, have time to think about if I should jump in this play, then honestly, it's probably not the play for you. Notice, up, money again, boom. It's like, let the trade play. Let the trade play. But look, I'm getting ready to just, I'm moving my stop loss more comfortable. Okay, boom. Now we're out 150, 180, 2. This is the big push. 255, 290, 300. We want to take all this piece. I need all that. I need all that. You feel me? 300. That's what I'm saying. Now I'm up money. I was down money. I'm up money now. Like, bro, it's that simple. Now I'm down $1. I was just down that much. But now it's look, okay? Where am I looking to jump in now? I'm looking to jump in the same spot and do it again, bro. Boom. I'm going to take my profit. Now we looking for the 1500 and boom. So now what do I realize? Okay, what is it doing? It's just trying to correct. So now I already jumped in. I'm waiting for the 15 to break above you. But realize, what you got to realize the 15 does is it builds. It sometimes will show you like what it wants to do, but it goes, may God bless you more and more. All love. Love your positivity. Thank you, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie. God's the reason I'm really positive. Well, a lot of stuff is, bro. I don't worried about so much stuff in my life. I realize, like, bro, I gotta give it to God because, bro, when you worry so much, bro, it literally can ruin your peace. But I realize, like, that joy of the Lord truly has changed my life. Like, so it's not, like, for me, it's not even a worry of if it's gonna work. It's like, it's gonna work. I just gotta keep going, bro. I just gotta keep going. And I realized, like, I was just down 500. Now I'm literally down $1. And it's like, once this breaks here, because I realize it's building that wake to build up, it's like, I'm in there right here. But notice, what is it doing? It's testing the wick. But it's early on in the candle, so I'm not really tripping right now because, ooh, we in there. Okay. Oh, I didn't mean it for it to pull back and then jump me in, but you know, like. To glorify the name above all names, and nothing can stand against. I choose to pray. See, if it goes 200, we still out. Let's see. This is where I'll be closing. Because if it goes 200, I'm out. Because a winning trade should not go 200. Heavy on it. A winning trade should not go 200. Now we're going to go. I want to see you push a little bit more. I'm trying to go break even, but it's jumping too much. I'm going to just let it play a little bit. We'll put it right here. To glorify the name above all names, and nothing can stand against. I choose the praise. To glorify, close. Notice, what does that show me? When it goes down negative 200, we out. So it's cool. Now we down 200. But realize, okay, what is this showing me now? It's correcting. It's doing the correction. So it's like, okay, boom. What do we need to see? I need to see it finish this. Because realize, like, it's still above this line. So it's still bearish overall. But we got to realize. For me, what I realized is, okay, boom. That just cooked me on that. Is because It's something I needed to learn too. Like that, I feel like the Holy Spirit just taught me live. Is this right? It's still going up, so we're still looking to jump in here, right? I'm gonna put my TP probably like closer down to here. Still target this. I forgot how much I need. So 200. So let's say that. All right. Is notice it's 10 minutes into this candle, so I realized that for that 10 minutes it might be red all this 10 minutes, just pulling down. But when it goes above, I probably actually it's 55 seconds on that, so we'll see. I still watch the 15. But what we gotta realize is the candle does not actually move the way it wants to until that last like 3 minutes. So for me, I'm gonna probably wait till like that 3 minute mark to see it do what it does, do its status, and then jump in. I ain't gonna lie, if it pulled, it would be nice if it pulled all the way, like, you know what I'm saying? But notice, it's respecting this low. So even now, it's like, it's respecting this higher low. Here, let me drag this up. Let me do this. Okay, why did it just, oh, it's because my stop loss is here. I'm like, what's going on? So, I want to show you, whatever this lower high is, right? It needs to respect that, you feel me? And realize, it could do a push all the way back down here and then build. But now we know, since it broke above here, above this line is respected. So this is the lower high it needs to respect at this point. So I don't know why my line this moved up. This is supposed to be here. Okay. We're gonna do that. So look on the 15. Notice right now, what is the 15-minute doing? It's pulling down because it wants to wick. Because realize all these big pushes, they have wicks the opposite way. So like when it starts building up at like 3 and then it's pushing up, that's when we want to get in. But like I said, it's not tripping about it. Like we know, okay, boom. Like once again, as soon as it went 200, I got out. It went 200, I got out, and what happened? It went back to 150. But you get out because you rather cut your losses early than try to do it too late. Since I got out at clicked at 200, I actually ended up going less than 200 because it actually moved that way. But what you got to realize is if it's going 200, that means it's either doing a liquidity sweep, which I feel like this is just pulling down, trying to take people's stop losses out. That's why for me, it's like, okay, I could watch this. But notice, when it starts going up, it'll probably be like 5 minutes till that. Then it's going. And I realized, like, bro, this is where you got to be okay with losing. Like, for me, I don't trip about a loss ever. Like, even when I was down 500, I wasn't tripping about it today because I was like, bro, I've been down before. It's like you got to know how to be down and know you can come back. Like, you got to know that, bro. And that's for everything, bro. You can always come back as long as you don't give up, bro. And I realized, like, that's the difference between a lot of people is that they're not optimistic that it's gonna work out. They don't truly believe that the best outcome can come. They believe it can happen for everyone else except them, bro. And I realize like it's a poison to believe like God can't do what He's done for others to you. Like, bro, you gotta believe, bro. Belief is so important, bro. And I ain't gonna lie, it changes your walk with the Lord because you learn to trust Him through it all, bro. It's like I ain't gonna lie, I've been worried. Like I was talking about it earlier. Like I don't worried about a lot of stuff in my life. I don't fear it and doubt it. And bro, it's like even with trading, like there was moments where I wanted to quit and I was like, God, is this even what you want me to do? And I realized like He showed me this is what He wants me to do. It's like even now this pull, this is honestly a good sign. This pull down here, because you know what this is doing? Look on the 4 hour. It's building, it's pushing all the way down here. But notice it's still respecting that wick. The wick all the way here. So what we can expect is, oh, it's going to wick all the way down here. Shoot up, bro. Realize it's still a higher wick. Notice now it's building up. So when I watch it, I'm like, oh, notice it could be this for right now, right? Because ultimately, we know what is it doing. This wasn't an indication because we already had an indication here. But let's say it is. Okay, so indication, right? Boom, correction. What's after that? Continuation. Let's just look at the market structure, bro. It's like I can't emphasize this enough. Like overall, what are we still having? This is still building up. Like on a 4 hour, this no, that's the wrong one. This is what we're seeing, right? So then when I watch this, I'm like, oh. I'm watching the hour. I'm like, okay, this is what happened. We already had the indication down there. So this, what is this? A higher low. And now 1 hour, let me drag this because I want to drag it to the wick because that's where it needs respect. It shouldn't break under this wick. You know what I'm saying? Wherever this wick ends up being, you know. So realize in this box there's sellers pushing price down. So we can know, okay, why it's in this box, it can still push down. But once it breaks above here again, why are we're not tripping. Because we already know, okay, boom. It already broke through here. So now what we see is, without a shadow of doubt, we can say, okay, it indicated down here. Now it's indicating here. Let's say this is an indication, right? We had an indication. This is a correction. What's next? Continuation. So even if this forms red, I expect this next candle to be green. But you remember, I said the market doesn't really show, like for 15s, it doesn't really show where it's going until that last bit of it. So it could be red all the way until like the last 2 minutes, and then that's where it just starts jumping up. So it's like, bro, don't trip. Don't trip what you can't control. Trust. Have faith that you know what you're doing, bro. And that's why I'm so optimistic with everything, bro. Because I realize, like, bro, if I wasn't supposed to be here, God wouldn't have me here. So it's like I really don't be tripping about it, bro. And I realize, like, once I learned to detach from the money, like, dang, I could lose 200. I realized I can, bro. Because I was down 500. Now I'm up to, like, down 200. Cool, bro. And I realized I made that in one play right back. So it's like, why would I worry and be like, dang, bro, am I gonna be able to do it again, bro? Is it gonna work out? Like, no, it is, bro. Have faith. Like, once again, I can't emphasize like the importance of having faith, bro. Having faith is so important because it sustains you through adversity. But because, bro, it's gonna be a lot of moments in your life where you could be like, dang, bro, am I cooked? Like, am I cooked? But you gotta realize, like, bro, the God we serve doesn't fail. Ooh. What the heck? Oh, it's cord. Okay, hold on. I was like, what is that? And nothing can stand against. I choose to praise. To glorify the name above all names. Now, mind you, your stop loss is here. You're still in it. So this is why I'm saying I believe this is a liquidity sweep. Because look, notice how it broke out, right? And then it pulled down, right? This is like the correction, right? Notice our stop loss would have been here. But this is still losing, like, right at this point, you're losing 8. That's why if you're doing a live account, like, you're not really tripping here because your stop loss is here. And you're seeing this respecting that. Like, notice this lower high that I marked on a 4-hour time frame, right, is respecting it. Here, hold on. Let me do this. So overall, I'm not really sweating the fact that it's wicking here. But it does show me, okay, boom. Notice. Go back to the 15. 2 minutes left. Notice how the wick is getting smaller. I kid you not, like, bro, it's not about trying to, like, be a genius and predict the market so crazy. It's literally reading what it's doing. It's still respecting this lower high that was on the 4-hour. So for me, it's like I'm not expecting it to just break structure. It's like, cool, it pulled down there. But realize now what is happening is fighting and it's back up. Even if it closed red here, indication, correction. What's next? Continuation. And notice I'm still not jumping in as soon as it breaks above here because it can break above here and keep going down. We don't know how long the correction is going to last, but what we do know is that once it finished correcting, after its indication, correction, continuation. So it's like, bro, you just got to realize. You got to realize. Because now, look, the price is pushing up. That's why we are waiting for it to close, break above here. Especially now, if it starts going green, bro, it already tested this wick down here. So why would I not be comfortable taking a buy up here? Because, look, that means it had to go, it tested all the way down here, and now it's building all the way back up here. That's why we're not looking to take buys here. This is a good sign if it closes green above this, but that's why we're looking to jump in here. Because notice, this is 1 hour where it's been, when it held there. And realize, for the 1 hour structure, what does this want to do? If we made a higher low down here, this wants to be green, this wants to be green. Just continuing the pattern. Because notice, this is a little left. But before it can make a big push, it has to get liquidity. Notice how big this wick is. Notice how big this wick is. Like, these wicks tell you a lot because it's showing you it's gaining liquidity. So it's just like knowing what you're watching and why it's doing the way, like moving the way it is. I honestly don't even think this will necessarily be green when it closes. I think it'll probably stay red, but then the next one will close like green and open up green. And that's why I feel like it's going to make that big push because it already tested all the way down here. So there's no reason for it not to just shoot, you know? But we'll see. We'll see what this last 30 seconds does. I'll choose to pray. Okay. While we wait for that to do this last 30 seconds, what it does, let's start. We're on 2 Samuel now. Chapter 1, it says, Now it came to pass after the death of Saul, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Amalekites, and David had abode in Ziklag, 2 days in Ziklag. It came to pass on the third day that, behold, a man out of the camp said from Saul with his clothes rent and earth upon his head. So it was tell, when he came to David, he fell to the earth and did obeisance. And it says, And David said unto him, From whence comest thou? And he said, Out of the camp of Israel, am I escaped. So already, that's not a good sign for, like, this man, like, in his worries. It's like, dang, like, David's like, where you come from? He's like, hey, I came from, I barely escaped. Like, he says, from the camp of Israel am I escaped. So it's like, bro, camp of Israel, you would think, like, that's where they're from, right? What do you mean you escaped? But it's because they were getting grilled in battle. Like, we just heard the Philistines were doing them the worst way. So it's like, him escaping, it should let, like, using that terminology, already probably lets David know, like, dang, something went south, you know what I'm saying? Something didn't go how it was supposed to go. And it's like, even now, honestly, I think what it do? Yeah, it tested this line. So for me, I'm actually looking to see it break here, because this is where it's been wicking. So I'm going to jump in on this. We're going to take this to, where am I at? 19, 15, so 6, let's say 16. Hold on, I'm messing up that math bad. 1.7, we're going to take that to 1.7. That's good enough. You're going to be greedy. But notice, what is it doing? It's building down. So honestly, notice how it's still respected. So when you guys see it, because realize the 15 builds on a 1 hour. So we might see big pushes. Like this next candle will probably close red. But realize, we don't care what it does in the first, like, we care about the last 30 minutes of this 15. It could be doing all at once, all the way down here, right? But then just shoot up last second because we seen it. It's seen it happen. So I'm not really, if it breaks through this, that's where I'm like, oh, we might be switching. But until we see that, bro, and notice, this is another sign that is going up. Notice how this wick, it wicked here first, right? And then we have a wick here. Notice it's a higher wick, and it's respecting it. That's where you can know, oh, it's probably building up. So it's like things like that just to note. But once again, even if it builds a higher low, what does that do? So we had a lower low. Here, let me draw it like this so it's a little easier to see here. 4 hour, that's the 4 hour. It's still building up. 1 hour. What can we see here? Let me draw it like this so it's a little easier to see. We pulled from here all the way down here. We don't care about all this. It wasn't really volume. This is it consolidating. The move happened from here, pulled down here. Then what happened? It pulled up, right? So now we have a lower high, right? You would think, right? So then it pulls down here, right? Ooh, it broke that. But notice, just looking at this, after this higher low, what do we expect? We expect it to make a higher high. So if it's respecting structure, we expect it to do this. So we had a pull all the way up here. I'm going to just say all the way up here because that was like weak. Boom. And we had boom. So what we expect for it to do is here, right? But notice, we're watching it. Okay, boom. Notice on the 1 hour, it's still, the 4 hour is still respecting it. Let me redraw the 4 hour so we can see this. Like, this is not just random. Like, you gotta just see what the market's showing you overall. Building up, comes down, makes this like low. Let's just say like right here, right? Boom. Now, mind you, Right now it's pulling down. But overall, for it to continue structure, since we already had a higher low, this needs to go up. So I'm not really like at a point where I'm like, oh, it might not break it. I'm looking at this. Okay, so now we had a wick here. As long as we're staying above this, we know sellers are pushing the price here. The fact that it's not breaking this box shows me it's still in the uptrend. But this is what I'm saying. This is why we don't rush. We wait for it. Like, what is there to rush? You know what I'm saying? It's nothing, no reason to rush. It's just being patient and letting the market show us where it wants to go. On the 15, we had a lower high, and now we have a high, right? Now this could be the lower high, and then boom. You feel me? Because once again, boom, boom, boom. That's what we want to see. You feel me? To keep the uptrend structure. So that's like something I'm kind of looking for. Because even if it shows a correction here, it's still, as long as it doesn't break this line, it's still holding, making a higher low, you know? But yeah, like that's something to note. It's just boom. As long as we're not pushing to some new, because notice this is actually, hold on, let me say this. This could be counted as a lower high down here. But like I said, if it does break this, this is an equal high, we can see a lower low. So kind of zoom out a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, this young has been moving nastily. You know, let me just see. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to delete this. Sorry, just draw the market structure. So this is what we've been seeing. See it pull here. You see it boom, boom. So we see lower low, lower high. I mean low, a high, a low, lower high, lower low. But then look, it breaks structure completely and pushes to a new high. So it's like, oh, oh. But how do we know we seen a higher low? So we could expect a higher high from there. Now what are we seeing? We're seeing it pull down, and now we're seeing this. But let's, boom. So if this is a lower high, right, or equal high, now we need to see. It would need to break through here. And we already had an indication here. So if it breaks through here, now we know it's selling. But if it doesn't break through here, it's going to make a higher high. That's why we have that level mark. The same way on the 1 hour, it's still respecting this. So as long as it's respecting this, we're not tripping. And notice, 15, what's happening? It's doing this big push when it's still 8 minutes. Remember, we don't really care about what it does in the first like 8 to 10. We want to care about like that last 3, what it's doing. So it pushing down here don't move me. This makes me be like, oh, it's just trying to make a new higher low. Like not even a real higher low, just a different wick. Notice, even on the 15, this is the wick it's respecting. Notice this wick, it still hasn't broke this wick. So things to kind of note. Notice we also had a red doji that was kind of formed. I think that's a doji. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. So yeah. Hmm? I was saying yeah to you. Yeah, it's indicated both ways.
But if we go down below this line, I need to sell it now.
Yeah, if it breaks under 24,992, that's where we could be like, oh yeah, it's definitely selling. But yeah, right now it's a little janky. Because it's indicated both ways, so it's just waiting, whichever way. But either way, I'm not tripping. Like I said, I'll be completely unbiased. I'm gonna make money whatever way it goes. But yeah. All right, let's finish this chapter. It says, and David said unto him, how went the matter? I pray thee tell me. And he answered that the people are fled from the battle. Many of the people also are fallen dead. Saul and Jonathan his son are dead. Also, notice, I ain't gonna lie, it's sad to hear that Jonathan died because Jonathan was really like David's day one. But realize they don't say none of the other sons died. They just said Jonathan and Saul died. Like it's like dang, bro. Like the other sons just didn't matter. Like that kind of sucks. They ain't getting no shout out at all. I'm low-key hot. Let me take this off. Hold on. And nothing can stand against. Ooh. Ooh. Hold on.
Yeah, bro, it might be,
Hey, I'm not tripping. I'm gonna make money regardless. If we selling, we selling. Let's do it. Ain't nothing but to do it. Mm-mm. It's like we selling. I'm gonna jump in at this line. Mm-mm. And nothing can stand against. I choose to praise, to glorify. Notice now we're breaking into here. We know buyers are here, so if it breaks this line, it's a good sign for sales, you know. And notice it's 4 minutes. So what this push is like, oh dang, we already had an indication here. What happened? Correction. I mean indication, correction, continuation. You know, so and that's like little things to note. You know what I'm saying? Like even just looking at this, boom. Now we want it to go up, but if that happens,
let me scratch this. I'm almost ready to pass it. Man, how much you need, brother?
I'll get him out. I ain't gonna lie. But it's good. Like I said, we getting base hits. So now David knows that they dead. You know what I'm saying? That it sucks, but he does know that now. Like without a shadow of doubt, he knows. Okay. So we're really watching this 15 because you remember what I said. The 15 normally does not actually show where it wants to move until that like last 2 minutes. So right now it's in a buy zone, like where buyers are. So if it breaks through this, we know it's bullish. But if it just shoots all the way back up, that's a great sign because what does that show us? Uptrend. You know what I'm saying? Like at the 1 hour, still respecting this lower high, but it's still right here. It's like it's staying there. Notice it's kind of staying there. So when I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, it might be sales. But notice we're not breaking. We're not taking sales as soon as it breaks 24.92. If it breaks 24.92, I need to see it close, and then I'll jump in at 24.963. Because if it breaks this, we know it's not just a low; it's a lower low. So it has potential to go all the way down here. So it's like that's something that I noticed. I don't trust Wix because notice it's wiki and now it can pull all the way back up. Like, and that's the thing about Wix is like a lot of people think like Wix matter a lot. It's like Wix show you where price has been. Price could be all the way down here, but if it closes all the way back up, why do I care where it wicked? Wix show where it's testing. So like I said, I need to see closes. Until I see a close under this level, I'm still like, oh, like it's good to not be quick to assume like, oh, this is where it's going. You know what I'm saying? But it's pushing down for sure. Right now it's pushing, but like I said, we need to see it close. This is a big 15 candle. I ain't gonna lie, this is huge. So that's something to note. And then it says, and David said unto the young man that told him, how knowest that thou Saul and Jonathan his son be dead? And the young man that told him said, as I happened by chance upon Mount Gibeah, behold, Saul leaned upon his spear, and lo, the chariots and horsemen followed hard after him. So something I never noticed is the first young man that told not Samuel, that told David that Saul had died, actually told him what happened. If we remember, we know that Saul did lay on his sword, and that's how he died. I think that's important for later on because what we see is somebody else says something, a completely different story, and David reacts a certain way. So that allows me to see why David moved how he moving with that like knowledge, because I didn't peep that before that he had said that. But that's important. You know what I'm saying? Like that is definitely important. So right now, just look at the market is definitely looking bearish. We gotta see it close under this line, but notice it's a minute left and it's still pushing down. That's a good sign for bears. It's tapping this line. Is it gonna close under this line? Okay, tapped under. Let's see. 58 seconds. What we gonna do? But also notice too, it breaking up here.
Back that square one.
Yeah, like I ain't gonna lie, it's not really.
Like where the market started. Literally back that square one, bro. Yeah, no way it's going back up if it went off this right here. If it do, that's the crazy. That's the crazy stuff.
Well, nah, it could definitely go back up. Because you gotta look like at the 4 hour, it's still making a higher low, bro. Yesterday it jumped from 24,570 to 25,195. So it definitely has like space to play, like where it can still make a higher low and pull.
Tell us, please.
So I said I want to see a close under this line before I look to take sales. So
Oh,
either.
for sure.
To glorify, glorify the name of our name. And nothing can stand again. Okay, that's a good close. Now what we doing? We gonna close under it, or what we doing?
It's started a new 15, right?
Yeah. Okay, if it breaks my line, we're gonna jump in on the sell piece. Yeah. Broke that first line. Is it gonna wake and go back in, or is it gonna hold under? What are we doing? What are we doing? Now we had the indication correction. This is a continuation. So if it breaks this, yes.
Damn. Smacking. Up 370.
Yeah, I'm up 320.
Take my 350. Just going back a little bit, pull back there. I'm okay.
And nothing can stand against. I choose to pray.
$1,800.
I can't even get in, okay? Oh, what happened? What happened? What?
Yeah, this shit jumping. That's what happened, bro. Like it's not letting me in either. So don't even think that it's GG. Pull back. I look pull back. Nah, I see what you're talking about, Rick.
Yeah, like I ain't gonna lie, it's annoying, but it definitely does it every time. Like it will pull back something crazy.
I'm happy I ain't hopped in at that. Ooh, I would have been sick. I wonder what candle is doing this.
This is 15. To glorify the name of our names, and nothing can stand against. Okay, it's under that. Is there any lines over it? If I can get my original entry, I'm doing it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm holding my original entry. I got my original entry, so I'm holding it for sure. Lowest valley, yes, I will sing for joy, and my heart is heavy all my days. Oh yes, I will. I choose to praise, to glorify. 120. Okay.
You in the bar?
Not I'm in a cell. I'm just scalping my same entry. It's like this is where it wants to go. Now it's going back like, hey, hey, bro, that, hold on. Hey, if you was in that, I would have been so sick. Oh,
Yeah, I wasn't in it.
oh.
I was bad.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's crazy. I did not expect that move.
You see how
Okay.
they just did that? They
Hold
like that.
on. This wick is crazy. What's going? Bro, it might be going back to the upside. I don't know what's going on. Bro, what is going on? Bro, just move 300 like $200 just quick. What? Yeah, bro, I'm not gonna lie. With that candle being that close, if it doesn't I'm waiting for like 3 minutes, honestly, because what I think it's gonna do is you remember how I said it builds on a one?
Mhm.
I mean, let's see. Honestly, think that John just made a lower wick so he can keep pushing up, bro. But I like me. I'm sniping my original entry. Like if it breaks under there, I'm just taking cells, securing whatever bread it give me, and then getting out. But yeah, bro, I ain't gonna lie. If this candle, like what I will say is,
Bro, look at how it pushed all the way up, bro. What the fuck?
yeah, bro, I'm not gonna lie. It caught me lacking. You know what I'm saying? It definitely. Jerry's moving kind of
Caught you
crazy.
lacking. You wasn't even in it.
Yeah, no, I was in it on the other side, so like I made all
You
that
was the
bread,
last
but
cell, right?
yeah, I was surprised that it jumped that much. But where I jumped in, it didn't make me lose money. I was actually up profit. But then I ain't gonna lie, just seeing where it moved, it moved crazy the opposite way. I was not expecting that.
Bro,
But looking at the
crazy.
15, I'm not gonna lie, it made a higher low, so I wouldn't even look for sales anymore. Really,
Yep, I know.
I think it's about to shoot. Like, bro, this was the indication. This was the correction. Hey, I'm glad because I ain't gonna lie, I ended up making like 400 back, so that was clutch. But I'm not gonna lie, what I want to see is it build all the way because these buys are looking real good. The buys are looking great right now. So I ain't gonna lie, chat. That's how we get back. That's how we get back. You know what I'm saying? Um, is it done tested over there? We're not looking for it to go uh, anymore there. 20 minutes until the 1 hour close. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Since it tested that, now it's respecting it. It's like okay, we had all the way. We tested all the way, so now it's just building up. So that wick being lower is actually good because that shows that it's testing lower, but it's building back up. So on the 4 hour, it should build above that 1 hour. So yeah, on the 15. So that means that was the indication. This was the correction, though. Now we're about to see the continuation. I'm not gonna lie, too. Don't even trip, bro, because I ain't gonna lie. When this continuation goes, like, we see how much it just tested, bro. It's like, yeah, that's gonna be a nice payout. That's why I don't even be tripping, bro. Like, I just cut my losses at that 200, but you realize, like, you can make that back in one good trade, bro. That's kind of got to be the mentality, like, hey, I can get it right back. It's good. It's good. I'm not even tripping, you know? Because if you let that negative, you be like, damn, bro, I got to get this back, and then you just take a bad setup. It's like, nah. But when that junk breaks, closes above 153, I'm getting in at 25,209, and I'm taking my bars up there. But like I said, 3 minutes. Now it shows where it actually wants to go. So that's something I've learned about the 15 is it be baiting, bro. It really does. It shows whatever, like it be moving any type of way, but then that last like 3 minutes it actually shows where it's actually trying to go. Joy, and my heart is heavy all my days. Oh yes, I will. Alright, so now in verse 6, it says, and the young man told him. So he tells him how he knows. And he says that keyword what he says here is, when we get to later chapters, it's important to know what the first messenger said. It says, Saul leaned upon his spear, and lo, the chariots and the horsemen followed hard after him. So we already see David is knowledgeable on the fact that Saul is dead, and this is how he died, that he laid on his sword and died. Okay, right? And then it says, and when he looked behind him, he saw and said, and called unto me, and answered, here I am, right? So first he already said he leaned upon the spear. Now this is where he says, and he said unto me, who art thou? And I answered him, I am a Amalekite. And he said unto me, stand, I pray thee, upon me, and slay me, for anguish is come upon me, because my life is yet whole in me. So I stood upon him and slew him, because I was not sure he could live after he was fallen. And I took the crown that was upon his head, and the bracelet that was on his arm, and I brought them hither unto my Lord. Realize David wouldn't kill Saul because he had that much reverence for not touching the Lord's anointed. So what do you think he's going to do that this man just told him that he killed the Lord's anointed? Newsflash, is not good. It's no bueno. It says, then David took hold on his clothes and rent them, and likewise all the men that were with him. And they mourned and wept and fasted until even for Saul, for Jonathan his son, for the people of the Lord, and for the house of Israel, because they were fallen by the sword. Now, remember, we just finished reading about how Saul died. Saul had asked his armor bearer to kill him. His armor bearer wouldn't kill him. So what did he do? He ended up falling upon his sword, and that's how he died. But what did this man say he did? I finished him. He asked me to finish him, and I finished him. So he's trying to take credit for something he didn't actually do. So that's where we see that he's trying to take credit for something he didn't truly do. Are we seeing the issue? Like, that's where the issue really began. Because now he's trying to take credit for something he truly didn't do. So he says he killed Saul. So then it says, and David said unto the young man that told him, whence art thou? He answered, I am the son of a stranger, Amalekite. And David said unto him, how was thou now afraid to stretch forth thy hand to destroy the Lord's anointed? He's calling him out like, how was you so calm about that? Like, you just killed the Lord's anointed, and that doesn't move you? Like, that doesn't make you think like, dang, I messed up? Like, he's asking him this because he's trying to get him to have a moment of reflection and realize, dang, like, I probably shouldn't have did that. But he didn't do that. That's the thing. He was boasting about something he didn't do. He physically never killed Saul. The whole other chapter told us how he died. It says, and then Saul died. And then the Philistines came upon him after he laid on the spear. So he's taking credit for something he didn't do. Now, listen to this punishment that he gets, bro. And it says, and David called one of the young men and said, go and fall upon him. And he smote him that he died. And David said unto him, thy blood be upon thy head, for thy mouth hath testified against him. He's saying, I have slayed the Lord's anointed. Mind you, if he just said, hey, I came upon Saul and I seen he was dead and I took this stuff, he probably wouldn't have died. But he tried to take credit for killing Saul when he didn't kill Saul. He didn't. And that's where we got to realize, like, bro, God does not like when we lie. Like, he doesn't. And you see, now this man perished for a lie. It wasn't even the truth, but he perished for it because he lied about something he didn't need to lie about. What was the point of him lying at all about that? Was there any point to that? No. But why did he do that? Because he wanted the credit. He wanted to feel like, hey, look what I did. Because he thought David was going to give him praise. So this is what I'm saying. Like, we got to stop getting a habit of lying for other people or saying these things to get the approval of man. Because at the end of the day, the approval of man doesn't change like how God views you. You know? I think that's important to like recognize. Like, He never killed Saul, but he took credit for killing Saul, and that actually got him killed. Like that's kind of crazy. But is it not like fitting? And notice, I ain't gonna lie, it's 14 minutes till this closes, so I believe that we're gonna have some build up because it's showing you it wants to build up. But realize this is a higher low, so this next one, indication correction. Notice the wick is still back here. So even if it fights down here, overall we're looking for that buy because it still hasn't broke this. So I'm not even watching the 15 no more because 15, notice, is building up, right? But regardless, I'm not caring to look at the 15 because the 1 hour is what's about to close. So that's going to show me where overall the market is doing. Notice we have this huge wick to the downside. So unless it breaks under this line on a 1 hour, I'm not looking for sales. I'm still thinking it's going to be bullish. Because now look, this is here. I want to say this is the higher low. Wow. Notice I'm not looking to the 4 hour to see what that's doing either right now. Because ultimately, the 4 hour doesn't close for another 3 hours. So what that does is kind of irrelevant right now. We are looking at the 15 and the 1 hour. 15, what happened? It made this low and now it's building off it. So that's a good sign for bulls. The 1 hour is respecting this higher low. So these are things like I said, you remember how I said the wicks do not matter? We can make money on the wicks, right? But ultimately, we're not looking at the wicks like, oh, this means this is a good entry. Because look, that's why we cut our losses at 200. We made money. I ended up making 400 on it pulling down. But I didn't hold that position long term because what is it doing now? It's building up. Notice this wick keeps getting higher. Because when this breaks, bro, like look, 15. Notice, it's 12 minutes on this candle. 12 minutes on this. So it's looking to build this. Notice this wick is crazy right now. Like it's tested. So even if this closes red, what does this show me? Oh, this is the higher low because we gotta look. This is why I want y'all to see. Like market structure is so important, bro. Boom. In here we made a higher low, right? It made a low here. Then we pushed up here. Now if this is making a higher low, boom. What's next? Higher high. So it's like this is stuff to note. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's respecting this, we're like, yeah, it's going up. And what I say, indication, correction, continuation. So that's like the things I be noting, bro. So, and it's like, bro, even if you traded down here and lost money, it's okay because at the end of the day, you can make it all back right here in one play. You notice I was down today. I was down 500. Now I'm down 130, basically 150, and I'm about to make it back in this play. So it's like, bro, I'm telling you, bro, just patience is so key in the market, and just not losing faith, like, in your ability, bro. Do not lose faith in your ability. I feel like that's so important. Like, realize God equipped you to do whatever He called you to do, but you gotta believe that. You can't just like let your faith waver when it's hard. Be like, I don't know, like. No, bro, it's gotta be confidence, bro. And realize the 15 isn't breaking above here, right? Even on the 15, what do we see? We see it come here, and then this is still a higher low, right? So boom. The only way we can be like, oh, it's probably selling is if it breaks here again. But I don't think he's going to do that looking at the 1 hour because look how much range it has. So this 15 can be deceitful. We got to watch this 1 hour. And I'm going to put the higher low down here. We're just going to say. Because it needs to close to actually make that higher low. But that's what we're looking for. As long as it doesn't break under here, it has respected that higher low. It's still building up. I noticed. This is all consolidation. That's why we do not trade between here. Consolidation. But now, out of nowhere, we're starting to see market structure be built. So that's why I'm waiting to see if it's going to make this higher low. But like I said, if it breaks here again, now it's like, okay, boom. Now it's selling. You know, so you just got to kind of be patient. But now, like, I want to get back to the word. We've seen this man die because he lied. He didn't die because he actually killed the Lord anointed. But notice what David says. He said, and David said unto him, thy blood be upon thy head, for thy mouth has testified against thee. He didn't say, hey, because you killed him. He said, your mouth has testified. So what you said testified against you. And I realized, like, bro, the Bible talks about how there's power in the tongue. And I realize a lot of us speak negativity over ourselves. Dang, I lost money. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing this, bro. Stop speaking negativity over yourself and believe that God is faithful, like that God has equipped you, bro. I've got funded multiple times. I mean, I got funded and then I made 2,000 off that funding. But I blew it because of my pride, my greed, bro. And it's I hadn't passed like the challenge, so it lets me know I can do it, you know. But the biggest worry and the biggest fear is like, what if I can't, you know? But I realize like, well, having that mindset, like, if I quit, what if I don't, right? It's failing before you quit because you're already believing that it's not possible for you to do it. So what was the point of you even trading? It's like some people will go down like 500. Like on this account, I only have 500. I can lose more. But like for me, it's like, bro, the same way I got 500 to lose. If I make my 1,500 today, which I'm looking to make on this play, I make all that back. Now I'm up 500 on this account. But if I gave up and been like, dude, I'm gonna just let it play because it doesn't matter anymore. I just lost. So it's like, bro, don't lose faith. Like, I think that's like super important just to, like, if I can tell you anything, it's just not to lose faith, bro. Don't lose faith in yourself, but also, most importantly, don't lose faith in God. Like, I feel like we lose faith in ourselves before we lose faith in God. Like, for me, I done doubted myself and quit on so many things in my life. But, like, something that has been big is that God never quit on me, so I'm not going to quit on God. It's like with trading, it's like, bro, people be losing. Like, a lot of these people that made millions, like, Sai, this man's is making 100, like, just posted a video making 100 mil. Shows it, like, shows the receipts too, right? He was literally homeless and struggling because he was doing live trading and he was blowing accounts. Like, he was losing thousands of dollars. Bro, I haven't even lost a band from trading. So why would I give up? You know what I'm saying? Like, keep going, bro. And what I realized is the amount of lesson I've learned from blowing certain accounts has taught me so much that I'm not even worried if it's going to work. I know it's going to work, bro. Because it's like, bro, every time I lose, I learn something new, bro. When I lost my other accounts, I realized I kept losing accounts because I wouldn't cut my losses at 200. Now that I'm learning to cut my losses at 200, I lose multiple. I don't lost like 3 times today, but I also won 3 times. So, like, that's why I'm basically at break even. Because when I lose, when I win, I'm making just as much as I lost, if not more. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I done lost maybe 3 times today, but I won twice, and I made enough to where I'm only down 150. And it's like, even now. Now, it's like I lost in these other ones. Now it's like I seen the indication, I seen the correction. Now what's next? The correct continuation. Like, that's ICC indication, which was here. Indication, we dropped down to the 15. What did we see? Boom. Notice even on the 15 we see it building up, but it tested all the way down here. Notice a lower wick. So I'm not worried a bit if is it gonna just shoot down. Realize it could do this. You know what I'm saying? It could definitely do this, but ultimately this isn't respecting structure for it to. It would literally just break all the rules by it just coming here and then just shooting down now. Because realize we made a lower high already on the 15. So the next thing is to make a higher high. So that's what you gotta like, and that's what the market's showing us is building towards. So it's just not letting like what you see necessarily make you like have less faith, bro. And notice, I'm not even looking at the 4 hour to check because the 4 hour has 3 hours before it closes that candle. So what it's doing right now does not matter. But on the 1 hour, it's still respecting this higher low. On the 15, it's still respecting this higher low. Notice, I marked the higher low here. It's been building up from there. So there's no doubt in my mind, bro. This is the continuation. It's probably going to close red. I'm not going to lie. It's probably going to close red. But also, it could close green and just keep building from there. But either way, if this closes red, the next one's going to be green. If this closes green, what does that mean? It, like, obviously it's going up if it's closing green. But you know what I'm saying? Like, kind of things like that. But notice, even when we watch the 15 is building up. So it's like, these are important things to note, bro. And it's like, I'm not going to lie. If this candle doesn't close green, doesn't close green or it doesn't build up and hit this, I'm waiting for it to close above here, green, before I jump in. So y'all might not see me jump in, but just know that's what I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? But I want to finish this chapter because already it's so much to realize. This man lost his life because he lied, because the heart posture wasn't, oh, I'm trying to tell David the truth. He wanted to boast and get like a reward from David. That's why he took the credit for killing Saul. It wasn't because he actually killed Saul, because we see he didn't actually kill Saul. So why would you take credit for something you didn't do unless you wanted something in return? He was puffed up and he thought that David, because you got to remember, everyone in the land knew Saul was trying to kill David. It wasn't like news. It wasn't like new. That's why he came and brought him all the possession that Saul had because he wanted the praise. He wanted the approval of David being like, hey, well done. He thought he was going to get a pat on the back, and he actually died because of that. Because David truly did not want Saul to die by his hand. He didn't want someone to rejoice in killing Saul. And that's why I realized, like, bro, we oftentimes are like, oh, bro, like, boasting about things that don't matter. Like, bro, realize this man literally was boasting in something that got him killed. Because he died. It wasn't like he got, oh, a love tap. No, he died, bro. He got killed because he lied about something. And it wasn't a reality. Like, I really want to hyper focus on the fact that he didn't actually kill Saul. He lied. And now he died for it. What was the point of lying? There was none. But this is what I'm saying. Like, sometimes we think that if we say this, like, we're doing it for the approval of man. Why? And we see he died. And then it says in verse 17, and David lamented over his lamentation over Saul and over Jonathan his son. Also he bade them to teach the children of Judah the use of the bow. Behold, it is written in the book of Jasher. The beauty of Israel is slain upon high places. How are the mighty fallen? Tell it not in Gad. Publish it not in the streets of Achish. Lest the daughters of the Philistines rejoice. Let the daughters of the uncircumcised triumph. So he didn't want it to be known that Saul had died because he realized like they would boast in it. They would feel like Israel was weak because their king had died. And it says, ye mountains of Gilboa, let there be no dew, neither let there be no rain. Be rain upon you, nor fields of offering. For there the shield of the Almighty is vilely cast away. The shield of Saul, as though he had not been anointed with oil. From the blood of the slain, from the fat of the mighty. The bow of Jonathan, turn not back. The sword of Saul, return not empty. Saul and Jonathan were lovely and pleasant in their lives. In their death, they were not divided. They were swifter than eagles. They were stronger than lions. Realize, David loved Jonathan to death because Jonathan showed him unconditional love. That was true brotherhood. They looked out for each other. They supported each other. They walked towards the Lord together. You know, it wasn't like a one-sided friendship. It was both of them working together. That's where David was like, dang, bro, my brother's gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you got to think about it. Even though Saul was wanting to kill him, he still was the Lord anointed, so that's why he's grieving it. It's not because it's like, dang, now I'm about to be king. David already recognizes he's going to be king because God already told him that. But this isn't, like, just because it's going to happen doesn't mean it happened the way David wanted. David probably wanted Saul to die from old age because he already was running from, God's already protecting him. So he probably wasn't like, dang, I hope Saul dies. But he was like, hey, if it's up for him to die, he's going to die. So just because you know the reality that someone could die or this could happen doesn't mean that you can't grieve when things actually happen. You know what I'm saying? And it says, ye daughters of Israel, weep over Saul who clothed you in scarlet with other delights, who put on ornaments of gold upon your apparel. How are the mighty fallen in the midst of battle, O Jonathan? Thou wast slain in thy high places. I am distressed for thee, my brother Jonathan. Very pleasant hast thou been unto me. Thy love to me was wonderful, passing the love of women. How are the mighty fallen and the weapons of war perished? So we see that David is sad. He's not excited because he realized, like, you got to realize, since Saul died, David was anointed. So at this point, it's common sense that he's going to be king now because and there's no one else. You know what I'm saying? He's already the Lord's anointed. The other Lord anointed died. So David knows he's going to be king, but he still is sad and grieving the fact that he lost his king. Like, even though Saul did all this negativity, we never see David have hate towards Saul. He was questioning Saul, like, kind of getting him to try to repent and realize, like, I didn't do nothing to you. You shouldn't have this hate for me. You know what I'm saying? But realize we never see David have, like, rejoice in the fact that Saul died. Even with Jonathan, he says, hey, the love you showed me was so great. Realize, even Jonathan, before he died, he said, surely you will become king, David. And he was like, I will be your right hand. Obviously, he didn't get to be his right hand man because he passed away. But, like, that was his heart. And I realized, like, that shows us an important thing about the heart posture, which is that even when we do not rejoice in things, even if it goes, like, good as far as for us, we do not rejoice in other people's shortcomings, other people's failures. Like, the Bible talks about not rejoicing in, like, when your enemies fail and stuff. And that's why, like, that's a big thing is to note that, like, do not rejoice when other people are struggling or when other people are going through it. Like, that's not a good thing to rejoice in, you know? And we see that David gives this example of not doing this, you know? So I want to leave y'all with that. I wanted to break that chapter down and just show David's heart. David's heart wasn't rejoicing when Saul died. He was still sad. He was still grieved. And I think that's important to note. Like, he was still sad even when Saul died. The man who tried to murder him on a multiple occasions, he was still sad when he passed away. That shows David's heart. So that's like an important thing to note. I love y'all, but Jesus loves you more. I hope the stream resonates with y'all.